all help that your people could give, your listeners could give, please reach out to him and do whatever you can. And thank you for letting me say that.
All right. Yeah. Thanks.
Do you mind if I ask a question real quick before we close out?
Oh no, we're gonna got a couple questions or a question from the chat room, and then we're gonna
go ahead with that question. Go ahead with that question, then I'll ask my question afterwards.
Okay. This is what happens if the government makes a fake militia and makes a video making threats, and then a terrorist action occurs to demonize them? What would happen to this movement?
Is that a question for me?
That's for any of the guests to answer. I'm not sure who's with you still, but
if you want to tackle the White Owl, go ahead.
Okay. Any group who makes a violent threat against any American is not a constitutional militia. It's a criminal organization. Threats. There's no place for threats anywhere.
Okay.
And I feel that, a lot of these questions, a lot of these ideas, a lot of these fears and concerns we have, what if they do this, what if they do that? I think a lot of these things, if people go back and read just some of the things that we've written, I'll be honest, Gary's written the majority of this stuff. That's what Gary does. Gary writes. He puts it down on paper. I melt it. I voice it out to the world. We do the research, and it's not just our research. I mean, a lot of these stuff is a collaboration of a lot of people's ideas that have been added to the things that we're talking about. But, if you read throughout that book, Resistance to Tyranny, and the things that we've talked about, we address items like this specifically. This is going to be for the committee. This is exactly the role that the committees of safety, that overt organization, would have to handle and take care of. Just like the Sinn Féin in Ireland. We will have to jump on these, grab the bull by the horns and take control of these situations. Get our own propaganda, get our own media out there, get our own voices out there, tell people a different idea, a different perspective on what it is. And this will come from a whole bunch of different groups and people out there, but it's things that need to be done. It's for this very reason, that book, Resistance to Tyranny, not just some book saying stand up and fight for your freedom. No. It tells you everything you need to consider if you think you might have to stand up and fight for your freedom. It's a primer. These are the things you need to think about from a gentleman this was his specialty. He was put in charge of this for quite a few different projects. Insurgency. This was his thing. Read that book. So that's why I encourage people to get that book. I make not a penny off of it. I promote it because it's that important. Read the plan. A lot of these questions are answered in there. You can find the plan at Outpost of Freedom. If you want the link to it, or you don't have it, hit me up in an email or get with Gary Hunt, and he'll send it to you.
That book is only available online. I don't think you can go into Books A Million or any of the other bookstores and purchase that book.
No. Amazon, get it through Amazon. You can get the information for it on my website, youhavethreatenedme.com. It's right there, big yellow link, Resistance to Tyranny. It's the only thing I even promote on there that's a consumerism product. Well, I don't have a link to Amazon though, because I didn't want to, didn't want to engage in that commercialism. So I tell about the book there. You can find it on Amazon. Please go buy it. If you do nothing else this year, buy that book.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to start winding down here. If anybody, my guest list here, had anything left to say in closing statements or anything, speak now. And
I'm good. Hey, thanks for having me on.
Thanks for coming on, Randy.
And White Owl, I tried calling you. I'm sorry, what is your name, by the way? It was Darren, correct?
Right. And I apologize. We have been very busy, and, of course, it took us 27 hours to drive out here to Oklahoma to meet with Sergeant Dyer.
Yeah, not a problem. No, I had sent you a message, and I realized, well, they're busy right now. I mean, they're on their way up to Duncan. I hadn't realized it was this weekend. I had completely forgotten about that.
And I will be getting in touch with you. I'm fascinated by many of the things you say. I'm sure that you have a lot to teach me, and I'm very interested in the information that you have. Thank you so much for having me on here. I'd like to thank you for Amelia and Sergeant Dyer, and Chris would like to say just a few parting things, and then we'll have to sign off.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for coming on. I have a great amount of respect for all of you.
Gentlemen, thanks for having us on, and glad to see that we're doing all that we can do for the Patriots in this country.
Yeah, you're doing what's got to get done, and I'm really glad to have you guys on.
Well, we'll keep on going on with the committees of safety. The militia will do what the militia needs to do to get ready, and hopefully we'll all be prepared.
Sounds like a plan.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, sir. Have a great evening.
You guys take care and be safe out there as well. Also, everybody that was listening in, thanks for listening. This was Fox's first show. This is his show. I just actually came on as a guest. This is Fox's show. It's the Armory with Fox. It'll be on every Saturday. I just want to thank you guys for listening in. And thanks for having me on, Fox. I appreciate it. And I'm going to let you close out now.
All right. Thanks a lot, Randy. Talk to you soon.
You take care. Bye-bye.
So, yeah, I'm going to wind it down here. Like to thank one more time all my guests for coming on. It means a lot, and I got nothing but respect for all of you. One more time, I know we've said it a million times here. Joseph Martino's book, Resistance to Tyranny, required reading for, maybe not required, extremely recommended. Get a hold of the book for militiamen and for committees of safety libraries. Yeah, like Randy said, I'm going to be on Saturdays at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. And tomorrow evening, Randy Mack is going to have his Militia Medic show with Doc. And that's at the same time tomorrow. And Monday is the Missouri Militia. So be sure you tune in. And thanks for coming on. I really appreciate all the support. Have a good night. Stay frosty, everybody.